So class, let's start with the session. Today we will cover the topic for globalization with social responsibility. So coming with the globalization with social responsibility, why we need to understand the social responsibility with respect to the globalization. देखो globalization क्यों कर रहे हैं? Because every firm want to increase the trade, right? जब उन्हें trade increase करना है, that means they are using the natural resources and other sort of resources of the other countries. Moreover, all over the globe जो resources वो use कर रहे हैं, उसको उसका market share भी all over the globe है, उसको वहाँ provide कर रहे हैं. So whenever whatever they are doing, everything their step should be related to the preservation of the resources also, effective utilization of resources and not harming the environment. ऐसा नहीं हो कि आपकी manufacturing टेक्निक्स की वजह से environmental pollution create हो रहा हो या कुछ और harm हो रहा हो to the earth. So and moreover towards the society also. So we need to see whenever we are moving towards the globalization, it need to be in phase with the social responsibility. So increased globalization gave rise to lot of problems, including ethical and social responsibility at home and abroad. They look to establish or contract operation, that means production, service and sales in countries and regions where they can exploit cheaper labor resources. अब ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि ग्लोबलाइजेशन का इफेक्ट उठाते हुए हम कुछ कंट्रीज में चले गए क्योंकि वहाँ पे चीप लेबर थी, लो कॉस्ट मटेरियल था और हमने उसको बहुत एक्सप्लॉइट किया. देखो exploitation is one thing which need to be avoided and we need to think about the countries, about the resources, about the globe. So the wages paid in the new settings can be minimal and workers' rights and conditions might be poor. During the past 55 years, technological improvement in transportation, communication, and information processing and the internet have made big contributions to the development of countries. To manage these trends, it is recommendable to create universal ethical norms, rules, and regulations. So, why does social responsibility matter? Social responsibility affects people on so many different levels. देखो social responsibility की जब हम बात करते हैं, again come with the corporate governance only. We have the social responsibility to our all the stakeholders. Stakeholders that include our shareholders, the customers, suppliers, employees, government, environment, everything. So whenever we are talking about social responsibility, we have to take care of all kind of stakeholders. किसी के साथ भी हमें गलत नहीं करना है. Everything, every dealing should be ethical. Payment should be made justifiable. Resources should be used in the optimum manner. There should be no wastage of resources. And honesty should be there in all your dealings. आप कोई product बेच रहे हो, उस product में कोई ऐसा harm नहीं होना चाहिए जो long term effects के खराब हो. So everywhere you have to you have to see about the social responsibility. So also from a consumer point of view, consumer want to know that companies really care about them and providing for their needs and not just making profits. Further, it carries over to the public. Without this principle, more corruption would find its way into the business realm. Companies should seek to promote social responsibility in every possible way. अब इससे हम एग्जांपल लेते हैं पीएनजी का. पीएनजी ने क्या कर रखा है? पीएनजी हैड ओपन दी स्कूल्स, होप स्कूल्स, जहाँ पे वो पार्टनरशिप है उनकी चाइना यूथ डेवलपमेंट फाउंडेशन के साथ. एंड दे कंट्रीब्यूट, आता है ना ऐड की अब हमारा ये प्रोडक्ट खरीदेंगे तो उसका हम 1 रुपया या 5 रुपया या 2 रुपया हम इस स्कूल में कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं. क्योंकि देखो हमें लगता है वो 2 रुपए की चीज है, लेकिन सपोज एक हेयर ऑयल में 2 रुपए हर एक उसकी कॉस्ट प्राइस का अगर वो सेलिंग प्राइस का भेज रहे हैं एंड हेयर ऑयल इज कॉस्टिंग रुपीज सपोज 20, तो 2 रुपीज का एक अमाउंट वो कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं फॉर दी स्कूल. तो हेयर ऑयल की वो 20 रुपीज की बॉटल लैक्स में बिक्री होगी, काफी बंडल में बिकेगी. अगर वो 1 लाख बोतल भी हेयर ऑयल की बॉटल से सेल कर रहे हैं तो 2 रुपीज के हिसाब से इट इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग टू दी 2 लाख रुपीज एंड विच इज अ बिग अमाउंट व्हेन इट इज सीन एट अ लार्जर पर्सपेक्टिव. तो कंपनीज करती हैं ऑन दी ग्लोबल फॉरम social responsibilities for companies करती हैं. Like some companies are focusing on the methodology where building an infrastructure which is utilizing the sunlight and reduction in the power consumption. Some companies are using the methods where they are utilizing the making the environment green. कुछ कंपनीज वर्क करती हैं फॉर दी वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, कुछ कंपनीज वर्क करती हैं फॉर दी चाइल्ड. सो व्हाटएवर द सोशल इश्यूज दे आइडेंटिफाई, they feel like they are working on it. Then we have another example, Nokia. The electronic products such as cell phones impact the environment both during production and after their useful life. When it is not being discarded properly, the Nokia ने green phase guide of greener electronics apply किया हुआ है. That means according to their policies, sustainability, climate and energy and how green their products are, it is necessary. Moreover, आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे ऐसे products की companies क्या करती हैं, they buy back their products after their usage so that the proper discardation of the product can be done or recycling can be done. और जो electronic waste जिसे हम बोलते हैं उसको हम उसको हम प्रोटेक्ट उस चीज को हम अवॉइड कर सके बेसिकली. The Nestle, one of the largest food manufacturers in the world, instituted the coca plan in the effort to increase sustainability, labor rights and fair trade in coca industries. The coca plan is the Nestle way to helping to tackle key issues facing coca farmers, their families and communities in order to create better future for the coca farming. So let us understand that is it really a globalization structure is suitable for everyone? So International Monetary Fund asserts that as globalization has progressed, living conditions have improved significantly in virtually all the countries. However, the strongest gains have been made by the advanced countries, and only few developing countries had got the gain from the globalization. That the economic income gap between the high income and low income countries has been growing wider. So IMF is continuously in the effort so that over the globe all the countries and the member countries should develop, should get the opportunity to grow and increase their GDP and increase their economic growth. And the number of world citizens in the abject poverty is deeply disturbing. But it is wrong to jump to the conclusion that globalization has caused a divergence or that nothing can be done to improve the situation. अगर हम सोचे कि ग्लोबलाइजेशन नहीं होता तो जो पावरफुल कंट्रीज है वो और जगह ट्रेड नहीं कर पाती तो वो और पावरफुल नहीं होती. नहीं, ये गलत है. क्योंकि अगर ग्लोबलाइजेशन नहीं होता तो जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं या अंडर डेवलप कंट्रीज हैं, पहली बात तो उन्हें नए मेथड्स नई टेक्नोलॉजीज नहीं पता चलती, उन्हें नए आइडियाज नहीं सजेस्ट होते, ट्रांसफर ऑफ नॉलेज नहीं होता. मोर ओवर दे विल आल्सो नॉट गेट दी स्कोप और चांस टू ग्रो देमसेल्फ. अभी तो कंट्रीज टू कंट्री पॉलिसी पे भी डिपेंड करेगा कि हाउ दे आर यूटिलाइजिंग दी ग्लोबलाइजेशन पॉलिसीज, हाउ और दे आर मोर इन्वॉल्व इन दी हैविंग दी वॉर और अदर इफेक्ट्स. कंट्री का मोटिव किस तरफ है उस पर बहुत डिपेंड करता है कि आप ग्लोबलाइजेशन के इफेक्ट को कितना पॉजिटिवली अपनी कंट्री में अप्लाई कर सकते हो. बिकॉज globe is open for everyone. Now it is upon the countries for the developing that with the help of IMS, with the help of World Bank, how they are going to give the positive impact to their own country. The negatives क्या है globalization के? पहली चीज outsourcing. Although positively outsourcing is providing the jobs to the major population, so while it provides jobs to population in one country, but it takes away those jobs from the another country, leaving many without opportunities. That was the reason that when the previous government have came in the US, they tried to stop the BPO sectors because BPO India में सारे खुल रहे थे, educated workforce उन लोगों को मिल रही थी, so people were not at all interested to have any call centers and BPO centers in the US itself. So वहाँ की जो लोग हैं, वहाँ की जो youth है, they were not getting the employment. So although different cultures from the round of the world are able to interact, they begin to melt and the counters and individuality of each being to be faced. There are maybe greater chance of disease spread, जो भी आज की डेट पे हम फेस ही कर रहे हैं, worldwide, as well as invasive species that could prove devastating in non-native ecosystems. There's a little international regulations and unfortunate fact that could have a direct consequence for the safety of people and the environment. And the large Western driven organizations such as International Monetary Fund and the World Bank make it easy for developing countries to obtain loans. However, a Western focus is often applied to the non-Western situations. So, concluding with the globalization and the social responsibility, it is accepted that globalization is an unavoidable process and will progress forever. All business desires to compete successfully in international environment should obey to legal and ethical rules and regulations. It requires a little thought for most of us to know the socially responsible or ethically correct response to question about breaking the law, destroying the environment, then denying someone taking unfair advantage or behaving in a manner that could bring bodily harm or damage. So this is all about the globalization and social responsibility which the people have to follow, which countries have to follow, which the firms have to follow. We need to have more stringent law for the international funding, international business. Without that, it will be difficult for the developing countries to develop, and the income gap will be increasing. So, thinking about the negatives and positives, we need to take out the best of the opportunities and work for the betterment of our own economy. So, this is all about the globalization and social responsibility.